Alright, we are back recording for YouTube. It's same stream, etc. It's just, for YouTube, this is a different, it's the next day. 19th February, 2:38 p.m., Briar Road. It says that the police are still here carrying on with their investigation. Perfect! So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Iris' handwriting is adorable, isn't it? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Yes, the handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no sentiment there. I'm sure it's simply the way you're interpreting it, Mr. Naruto. Anyway, I do hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know when he reads this. I don't think this one will just make it as munch piping hot chips until steam comes out of his ears, do you? Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome. This is a 5-shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown. Yes, and you can train a Scotland Yard detective to do whatever you want with just a single one. Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world. How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth? Well, it's probably enough to buy all the chips the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month. That's greasy. Yes. Let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. I believe my audio immediately broke. Maybe not. Present. Inspector Grayson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say that I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to prepare for and gadabouts. That's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? From me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give that here at once! Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will ya? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee. That's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... That's right. For the adventures of our shows. The ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me. Every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then? How does your fish keep... I'm assuming this is fish and chips. How does the fish keep refilling? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in the black whatever he wants to know. I trust that will be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, the little knife-wielding mustache Japanese fella lives in a right old hovel, just over there. Look. The bricked-up building. On the first floor of that house in the corner where that wreck of bicycles popped up. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is landlord is a Mr. John Garrigan. Right, well, if you see her again, make sure you give her ladyship my regards, here, yeah? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now, and long live her ladyship. Well, at least you told us what we wanted to know before you left. Yes, so then shall we go see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. New location added. February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings. I mean, it's kind of fancy in here, but also, like, everything's all crooked, so that bothers me. May I help you? Yes, would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrigan? Indeed, it would be, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here? We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Lord Garrigan. I swear I heard it. I guess not. Whenever I click forward, it sounds like the audio is being weird. Did you see that, Mr. Sato? Well, it's a real-life English maid. I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garrigan will see you now. This way. I'll have to examine. I like how we haven't even moved, really. What the hell? There's crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, it's a young London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is... Oh dear. It's in pieces. It really is. The Pratt wouldn't do that china or justice. Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yeah, it's probably something like that, but let's not delve too deep in here. That enormous screen, it must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from you. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm gonna have a very quick look, just a little peek. Ahem, ahem! Maybe that's not Mr. Sato. I think the maid is going to head myself with a cup of tea. Ahem, ahem! This window looks out over the road where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime. Let's see. The glass is murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Isn't it open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. This is very unlikely, at least you would have seen anything of the incident then. That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here?
Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica.
That old thing. Ma, that's little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. I never know when the enemy might attack next. It's totally useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? Isn't it overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. Do you think there might be trouble in Mr. Garrett? Always is. Take Joanne here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Tries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well on the cannon there, Joanne tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. That uniform is fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing? Pah, not much better than rags, really. Oh? Well, that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past. Me would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia laying around, does it? Oh, I see. Perhaps just leave the past in the past. Are those mortar shells? They're enormous. Oh, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing there? Those little things, a couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training unit. It became a bit colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You deliberately hunted out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what, exactly? Yes, well... Why is he stirring his tea with his pipe? Joanne, I did manage to knock one of the ollie things on my foot the other day while she was dusting. Oh no! Hadn't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know. Maybe we consider throwing them away? That portrait of Mr. Garrett is glaring at me. I swear. Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrett as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Yes, seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bully wizard. I went in to sell him something and came up with that thing. In point of fact, now that I think about it, I often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Sato-san doesn't pull her punches, or throws for that matter. Okay. I guess now we can talk to... Oh, wait, I can examine the table.
Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver candle stand.
Lined up? That's one of someone as half demolished than me.
Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Garrett's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful.
Oh, hang on a minute, though.
There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally, it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garrett... When Deb doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up.
How magnanimous of you. Good day to you, John Garrett, at your service.
Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me for not getting up. I took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Marowad, don't you know? I'm a medal for my pains, but I had to withdraw from the service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-coming ones. So he's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and down the stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite the climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garrett, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. I'd like to offend the general, though, so I begrudgingly displayed it on the wall. How would you fit it down, Joanne? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, that's... Aye! That's it, old woman, be careful! Oh, dearie me! I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly near... It took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it, living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chaplain lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes, we'll be very grateful if you can answer some questions for us. Only too pleased, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. I'm confused. I thought we went to his house. We've forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Because it's the exact opposite in Japan. We had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Jones. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rant's magazine here, so... no, Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So it's in Soseki's son's room. It's a bullying since is what it is. The whole neighborhood twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Oh, Mr. Natsume, then, Mr. Gerda. Please do tell us. Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging you here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So you moved in very recently, then. I have 2 lodgers most of the time, one on the ground floor and the one just below us. The first floor became available a week ago. Mike, that's it all, John! Do be careful! Okay, the first floor became a week ago. You see, there'd been... Oh my goodness! Terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was ashamed of himself from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh? Why? He seemed to have the most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had sugar written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man has trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. I won't be calling this man as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh, and yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. Did you notice anything else about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes, the man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is, more than anyone could ever read. I never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back to tried to light the gas fire. And the funny thing is up long past the time when everyone in the house has gone to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed around 9 each night. None of them let Japanese folks retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh! I don't understand. Neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, yes, they're below us, on the first floor on the street level. Then how's it you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed. Good great gun! Be more careful, woman! Oh my goodness, sir! I'm terribly sorry, sir! Something doesn't add up here. It says the incident took place around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrett house. I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joanne? No, sir, it would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible for us to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well, yes. Was there something then? Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but around that sort of time there. For the love of God, Joanne, know what you're doing! Around that sort of time in here, there. Oh, telling me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Lady, that's like the 8th time. Like, she's done that for every single conversation point that we've had. Like this lady should not have her job anymore. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Nero, hello? Oh, yes? I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Gerda? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there may have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing of... Darn! Joan Gust Dashdoll! What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. So something did happen, and Joan is trying to cover it up. We sat down to a quite uneventful meal, Joan? That's right, Mr. Garrett. What's the matter with these two? It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. What? I wish I knew. Just tells it where Mr. Natsume's room is on. Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Schultz is investigating there, even as we speak? Yes. Told me that's his name. I'd asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume? He has engaged Mr. Holmes' service? Doubt it. That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around in Mr. Natsume's room, I mean? I don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. As if we're found anything that could help us with the case, we had to try. Now look who's we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. I'm thinking this happened on the day in question. Wait, what? There's something else here. There's some candle holder that's a little out of place here, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. It's color is supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery, groom crack, really. Oh. Used it when I was studying, don't you know, for my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to, really, but, well, it still has its uses sometimes. Of course. Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it? They're memories, Mr. Naruto. Memories. Despite the fact that he said he doesn't really like worrying about the past or whatever. I mostly have a pile of books here, Mr. Garrett. Do you enjoy reading? Everett, I'm experienced of London winter, boy. The nights are long. No better way to pass the time in front of the fire than with a jolly good book. Oh, there's a copy of Marine's magazine here. No doubt Mr. Garrett enjoys the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, too. The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. Oh, that's where the magazine was. Hold on a second. I had like a frame of something I could investigate. There was like a pixel perfect spot where there was no check. That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride in, would say, although it bothers me that it's not straight. Oh, that old thing? Sorry. I should be glad to see the back of it, but the General would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it, gets the bullet thing out of my way. It's also just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look, let me see. It says, for distinguished participation. It sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given for that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. New location added. Mr. Natsume's room. Small art room rented by the visiting scholar from the Empire of Japan by the name of Soseki Natsume. Alright. It's been 2 hours, and we're finally at this guy's. We finally made it to this guy's room. 19th February, Mr. Natsume's room. What? Just look at this place. And smell it. It's so musty in here. Suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. For some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrett told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere, investigating. Alright, well, obviously we had to look at the cat first. Oh my, what an adorable little cat! Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. Was it Tricolor Mike, was it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. Yeah, but we were on a ship for 2 months leading into it. That was the desk. Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's big and bulky, isn't it? Sure, Mr. Natsume didn't bring that maneki all the way from Japan with him. I don't think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting that enormous Darumato? All that you brought in your luggage? While it can be dangerous traveling abroad, I want a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to bring good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things. I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reached the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short on reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. Bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. Ah, so reading is an experience that comes once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. So I didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Look, you could literally just take all these books off in whatever order you need to reach the one at the bottom. I'm just saying. Oh, it's balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them in English. Also, the wastepaper basket is so full, they've just fallen out. I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you? Or deeply averse to tidying up his mess. I would like to speculate which is closer to the truth. Alright, let's investigate. Well, the window first. Could you even call this a window? I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame and some bricks now. So really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? Why would anyone deliberately break it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a fit of whimsy. Ugh, that's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. Yeah, but you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, the cold. Really? There's nothing I can investigate over here? I guess nothing new I can investigate over there. Okay, time for the desk. That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side. suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering tomes, surely he turned to books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh yeah, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. And look, the date of purchase, 2 days ago, 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. How far away is your books? What the heck? Hold on, something popped up on my OBS. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Second-hand bookstore receipt entered into the court record. Some 2 shillings entered in receipt of picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal for Gaboriau, and Canterbury Yearnings. February 17th, 4:45 p.m. Oh, hey, Sholmes. Could you stop teleporting in? Ah, look, Mr. Naruto! Aha, there he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes! Ah, you two. Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Sorry. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Buria. Yes, of course, the Buria. And let me see, what happened on that voyage? It was Kazumi Osagi. Asogi. He died, tragically, but you were a great help to us. Oh yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh! Well, you seem to remember something of it at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Mr. Herlock Sholmes! Is this Mr. No, my dear madam. Hold your tongue! I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your name is safely recorded in my brain, I think. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Very close, actually. Assuming they've only really had the brief interactions. He got the names. Yeah. Try the other way around. He got the names. He got the names right, but just for the wrong people, which is a lot better than a lot of memory. The other way around, Mr. Jones. Ha ha ha! I lose the first round. Because remember, we've been seeing these characters the entire game. He might have seen us for like 3 days. Or interacted with us for like the investigation into Kazuma's death and then nothing else. Or nothing beyond. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Saseki-san in that short an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of insurmountable wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pins them beautifully. It's Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. Dear madam, I should be only too pleased. And this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case.
Natsume's arrest.
We know this to be the lodgings of a foreign Japanese student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you insisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes. From the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe that was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking at Mr. Sato so squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh? How? I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your astute compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. You don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit, then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophilia. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No, no, no. Oh dear. Mr. Garadeb the... Oh, S then? Yes. Mr. Garadeb the landlord. Ah, tell me. The down arrow wasn't working. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the Great British Institution that is the services. And it would be the first time I've ever met a maid from the Great British Institution that is service. I didn't think it was that I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid is to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? But simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who don't are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary! As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. Also, it made sense for the guy that literally has like that literally like got shot in the knee and has to walk around with the cane basically to have a maid around to like do the majority of like cleaning up and stuff.
Because it's like he's not really able to get up and do it himself due to, you know, due to his injury. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically in the retired Army veteran, Mr. John Garrida. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm throwing a loss on what he means to say. He said Gyarados hiding something that may or may not have something to do with the case, but he doesn't know whether it's relevant to the case. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one! Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tats. Window tats? What is that? Surely not a tats on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness! Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by their number of windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps rapidly closed windows up, while the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere, in an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust! Forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. Some 40 years ago, thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings, such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here. What? A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized. And so promptly, too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients, to trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Did you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Ah, I see.
Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to have seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us! I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of any relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garrett it is? Mr. Sholmes says much before. Or actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time to probe a little deeper into Mr. Garrett's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Has he? Like, is he... Oops. I meant to... I was trying to change, but I think it's like M, right? Yeah. Okay, so he is still there. Back to the Gyarados? We haven't been to this place in a while, have we? Back to the Gyarados room. 19th February, Mr. Gyarados room. Ah, you pair again. Telling me, was the detective Chen? I forget his name. Still around? Mr. Sherlock Holmes? Ah, yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Oh, Mr. Holmes is in his element down there. Jolly good, Joe. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joanne. Now then, why don't you tell me what... For the umpteenth time, woman, would you watch what your bally doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind. Oh, yes, of course. We're deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. I don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourself. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrett is hiding something, and since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at this moment, perhaps we should do some digging. Whoop. What? What's he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes? Aha, we meet again, my dear fellows. God gracious, when did you sneak in here? Sherlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. Whatever were you doing by the window? I am given to watch the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. And sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lights an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, keeping an eye out to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. She said that they were having dinner, and they said that they weren't looking at the window earlier, though. Ah, and one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detectives Great mind. Wait, he's not talking about, is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Time for a deduction dance thingy. What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes can see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There's just enough time for one of my gratefully admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Mr. Garridan, though it would seem you are a man of military... Well, it would seem you are a man of military service. A military man of considerably distinguished service. Your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. I'm afraid, sir, that is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. Eh? And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruhodo, look! The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How? How could you possibly? How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be any simpler, sir. From the tense struggle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. Arg! And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1, Nature of the Beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on a rampage within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? For a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garridan, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that is on rampant here is revealed by the lion statue. No, it's the shell, right? He said that the shell got knocked over. Yes, though an army man, you appeared unimposing at best. The fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact. You had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? Yet living with such wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much evident in evidence. Well, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to be present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, which is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is? Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Protruding from it is a handle advertising a circus show. Ah! Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garrett, at Batty's Circus, a traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lions, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. Rampaging Asiatic lion. Now for aftermath. Second introduction. Sorry, I need a moment to actually breathe. Now, Mr. Garda, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, that blithe pose, the distress loss has caused you in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. You feel, being revealed. The pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you was clearly visible in your visage.
Nonsense, man. I simply...
But what we must ask ourselves now is the true cause of this pain.
He's looking at his knee.
We need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household.
Why would you need anything? Lion wouldn't need anything other than wheat, dude. Or meat, not wheat.
And so you had no choice but to let it go.
Lions are carnivores.
Yes, well, now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can clearly be seen from an opening by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, TV. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eyes have won the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not what's said by a certain noblewoman that they had no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There is only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. This concludes Erlach Shulman's great deduction of this beastly puzzle.
Ah! What is the matter with you, John? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garda. I'm afraid I didn't notice. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. Stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times, too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but can I make an observation? Well, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it again? Well, the deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be a better idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrett and his mate would have been hurt, or worse. Oh, that's where he was stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I've heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they're infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Oh, what a glorious notion! Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage. That's all Mr. Holmes' deductions need. You can do it. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't even know yet whether this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least that's what I want to believe. Let us start again from the beginning. Of elections is logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on a rampage within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? And for a man of military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garda, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that is run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garrett's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok in this room. Yeah, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow his gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. It would be the mortar shells, right? I can't even go further left or right, I don't think. Wait. Ah, this photograph frame is damaged. What's this photograph? It appears to be Mr. Garrett's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. Now, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. We're best not to delve too deeply in there.
the wife? It's either the wife or him. The true nature of the beasts that run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruto. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this framed print reveals your wife. Pictures your wife, Mr. Garden. And while we will admit the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh, indeed, surely a man of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching it a bit. Too late! The fact remains that the beast in which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garrison. The chilling traces of wild rampage are still very much evident in present in evidence. Well, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it's plain to me in one glance in your direction. It is. Your trust pocket gives us some handsome clues as to the beast's whereabouts. The poor fragile defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is right. There's no sign of a Mrs. Garrett anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. Who Mr. Garrett's wife could possibly be. What reveals her current whereabouts? Wedding ring. She's wearing a very large ring. Look. Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. It's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. Looks like it's on there for life too. I can't imagine it would slide off of a finger that size. But that's something to think, Mr. Hold on, not to say. Do you know Mr. Garrett's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one? It was a large sunflower design as well. Really? I have a great memory for these things. Large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence that they had the same ring, isn't it? Okay, well, this is it. There we go then. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! Oh! Indeed it does! That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown in the hand of Mr. Garrett's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrett's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrett herself. Oh my word! I don't see why they would feel the need to have to hide that. Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is the wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a polygon of art! It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, that you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By God, only it's the sort of thing
It's a sort. By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are folly. You mean Mr. Garrett has his wife work as his maid? Precisely, am I right, Mr. Garrett? Only in company, obviously, but listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. The raging wife, Mr. Garrett. Now, Mr. Garrett, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, that blind pose, this distress. The distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that's holding on. Mr. Jones is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garrett's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. Mrs. Garrett is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true! So perhaps this phenomenon seems to be propping up his head as some other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrett's pain is tangible. Will that pose really signify?
Take that!
I don't even need... I'm not even pressing on that one.
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliver of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade.
Also, it's covering his eye?
Was you, Madam Joan Garrett? Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide that mark on your cheek, sir. Arrgh. How the blazes did you work that out, man?
I looked at your face.
Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garrett to fly into a rage. We need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it's this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Didn't Mr. Schultz say that the bills were all for lion fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed, which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food is Mr. Garrett's wife. Mr. Naruto! She's a person, not a thing! Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard that left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. Someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here. Mr. Garrett is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And look, next to the signature. Lip marks made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susato. Oh dear, I'm sorry.
So this bookmark is actually a love note, though. I mean, I would do it. Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here. Yarr! But I don't know the woman. You don't know her? That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just there, in there, you say. That's right, that's what I've been saying. Ah! Unlikely story. Now listen here, old thing. I explained it at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and that note must have already been in there. So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a book. So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right. That's what I've been saying. Ah! Unlikely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you'd forgotten, is John. Unlikely story. Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with a most ferocious bite. Okay, now it makes sense why she still has her maid job, though. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? Oh, that's a candle. I was wondering what that was. The aftermath of which can clearly be seen observing the carpet there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah. This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wondering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the entire state of the carpet, we no longer look at the case. But surely Mrs. Garrett didn't eat the cake? No, of course not. There doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in is a result of her wild temper. No, that's true. So this is the last part of Mr. Shulman's deduction that we need to fit. We need only follow Mr. Garrett's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer is right here. Candle on the ground, missing from the candlestick. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes! Let's observe it first. This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? This looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. Looks to me like the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder?
Take that!
Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give away the truth. Scorch marks? It would appear this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. I wouldn't call this a little marital altercation. Miss Garrett's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face.
but on the entire room. The force of our strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. In seconds, the carpet was alight, the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, For the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. You see, there's but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Mr. Sholmes, sir. I salute you! Carpet scorched by a small fire. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. This is dashed long winter and nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. I don't know about admonished. Demolished might be rather closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly not an apt describe things. She was gonna say description. Here we go again. And the carpet was not destroyed by fire when a candle fell on the floor. Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bully thing. Was caught between the Styx rage and raging flame. The old Styx rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bully furniture started going up as well. I had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over here, Mr. Garden? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'll allow me. Had all my favorite novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Gosh. Then the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There I was, back up against the window, under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books coming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Oh yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you, that title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Holmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again. It can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage, flames everywhere, and the old stick in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? I'm not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think. So it's after the same time as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really?
Mr. Sholmes? Joan looks like she wanted to say something there. But I don't have the interrupt option. Yes, Mr. Naruto. What can I do for you? Well, I think we got to the bottom of Mr. Gyarados' situation now. What does that have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man seemed to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. Yeah, that's true. I just knew you were going to say that. No, Mr. Naruto. You mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories, those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, it should make sense. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry? Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now? I must prepare supper for Mr. Gyarados. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Soseki-san will be waiting for us. I'm going to have to give him an answer. Well, we're not going to get a choice here. 19th February, Briar Road. It's time, Mr. Naruto. We must hurry back to the prison. I tried, and then it threw me into this cutscene on Briar Road. Yes, I know. Let's hail a car. Oh. He was going to say carriage. What's the matter? It said something's going on over there in front of the Gyarados' house. Huh? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who are you called old man, you looking dimny-pimney?
How are you called, old man? You looking dimny-pimney? Yeah, we're gonna go with Popeye with this one. Well, sort of Popeye. Also, sort of Smoker.
There are more things in heaven than earth, Horatio, than are dreamt in your philosophy.
What is Horatio, fella, huh? What are you on about?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
What the? Who are you now?
I'm sorry. It just looks as though there might be some kind of problem. My associate here, Ryonosuke, is a lawyer, you see.
Yeah, a lawyer? What?
If I can be of any assistance, I'm happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I've studied English law.
Fine. I'll be on my way for the day, but you want my words. This ain't over yet.
Get thee to a nunnery!
Do I look like a blowing nun to you?
I do hope you're not injured. Oh, that Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle, thank you. What was that all about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here? In the Gyarados residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Mr. Gyarados mentioned he had another lodger, didn't he? He's supposed to be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who's on the first floor? Ah, yes, a gentleman Natsume. Was not a palmist in my battle of words now? Could that be? Sorry, battle, did you say?
who was stronger, had met a Beth, Mr. Natsume, and I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. So, fair maiden, so good gentleman. I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well! I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. It seems he's unaware of what's happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help with us. But Soseki-san and that man is lodger, or as the guard of house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. February 6:31 p.m. Local prison, cell 9. Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched! We're so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh no, think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nipponese! Oh no, let's not get carried away. I don't know who this is. Oh, I quite agree. There's nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand, it is the French transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Did you like my impression of the prosecutor? Sounded real close, right? Such is my belief, at least. Oh, it's you! The miserable rotten spy! Hairlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything, per se, save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gleeful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should stop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring. A gleeful room? At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight and has not cost me a penny. You! How dare you, Hairlock Sholmes! Ugh. I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life has been damned! What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? His lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there was much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Curse is a wholly appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? When you say accursed lodgings before, you're referring to your room at Mr. Garadev's house, I assume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain, but I'd only been in London a week before I started noticing strange feelings and myself. That didn't take long, then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, the room is cursed. Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, if you have something to say, say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place! Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. The room really is cursed, then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I wake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. And I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can nobody find it in his or her heart to believe me? Really no one at all? To believe. Yes, to believe. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now about the trial tomorrow being cursed? Oh no, why? Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really agitating. You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow? Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper, the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please tell me, summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words! No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution, ever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Also, it's that for the one from the last trial. Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly. I also counted. Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilded. What? Ah, I'm impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Schultz, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself. Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer, he's a court prosecutor, dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is. Of course he is! Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Well, that's not something we can just leave unattended. What? Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in modern courts of law, exception does not equate to winning every case without exception. Ah, that's good. Saseki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, the the British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and court lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhanded means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury, which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means that the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, from time to time, my dear madam, it is simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zeitz cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my! Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortunes, sir. Perhaps they're trampled into a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they're suddenly overcome by a raging fever, or perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Oh, no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. Can we request that the Reaper not be the prosecutor anymore, then? I knew it. A dead dodo done for doomed. Mr. Sholmes? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Buria, if you recall. The Buria. That case. The one with the snake. Well, yes. Is that all you remember about it? At the time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is why. Why did you believe me? I see. Yes, you mean... because you are a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with a victim in a locked room. Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor that which you were telling me. And that what you were telling me, what? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I am concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning? Whether one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's so right. He's right, locum student, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, Esquire. Whether or not I can believe myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You're so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here. This is excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Welcome, Mr. Naruto Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What I believe in. What to believe in. The defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe even. But I think I finally worked it out. I decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruto! And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Welcome, student Mr. Naruto Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end with every weapon available to me, which isn't much because I have 2 pieces of evidence. So it will prevent me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruto, that your mind was in many ways made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Mr. Sato. Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Schultz believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him. To fight his corner. In his corner. Tomorrow in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. To be continued. Next time on Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Stream, don't go anywhere. Alright, BRB YouTube. Well,